What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and we are back at it again with another video. Today's video is about me talking about how 2020 was. Honestly, 2020 for me, it wasn't bad in my opinion. When I thought about 2020, there were bad days, but I just said that they were good days because I felt like no matter what, there was always at least one thing that was good about that day. And instead of me trying to focus on the negativity of what happened during those days, I try to focus on the positive. Of course, it's completely normal to focus on the negatives. I mean, like, a lot of people do it and then they just name the whole day bad. But for me, I decided, like, for 2020, a lot of people, they like to focus on the negative from how it was happening so far, that I just decided to just focus on the positives. And to be honest, it really did help because this year was honestly a great year for me. I thought this year was good, and honestly, I could name a couple of things that happened during this year that honestly I dislike very, very much. I remember, like, the one thing that happened in the beginning of the year is that, like, I felt that, like, right when the New Year's Eve countdown just, like, finished, it was like this year isn't gonna be like the others. And honestly, it was not like the others. A lot of things happened. I moved during quarantine. I grew spiritually closer to God. To this day, I am still, like, trying to, like, get closer to God. Of course, it's, like, my one priority. I have lost motivations so many times during this year. You have no idea how many times I've lost motivation and how many times I've gained it back. So far right now, I would say that I'm pretty much in between. Yeah, I'm pretty much in between. And honestly, it's not bad. I thought, like, maybe, just maybe, this year would, like, just be like, I liked how different this year was. I feel like that was my favorite part about this year. I liked how different it was. Something that happened before I moved was that I was so scared. Like, a lot of things was scaring me because I was moving. I was going to a new environment. Like, literally, I was, like, if you guys didn't know this, I live in Florida now. And before, probably year 2017, I lived in Florida back then as well. And back then, I was just, like, so horrible. I thought Florida was just such a horrible place to me because honestly, so many bad things. I was so focused on the negative things, and I was just, like, soaking in all of, like, the negative words that other people were saying about it as well. Like, my family, they would, like, say, like, oh, we're in debt. We, like, when we left Florida that year, it was like we were just, like, in so much debt. We were in so much trouble. Like, we left Florida running, like, with nothing behind us because it was just so bad. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was like, it's like one of those times where, like, when I look back at it, I appreciate those times because honestly, I feel like the tougher we grow, like, the tougher our life is, the harder and, like, more stronger we become. And honestly, that's what I want to be. I want it to be mentally strong and not really physically strong because I don't really care about being physically strong, but, like, I want it to be mentally strong so that way, like, if life ever hits me with something that I couldn't think that I would handle, that I would be able to handle no matter anything. Like, anything, I would be able to handle it. And honestly, I'm talking about the past now, I'm not even talking about 2020, but honestly, I thought that me moving back to Florida, that it would be like the exact same thing that happened that year. And let me tell you, it was literally the complete opposite. I remember when I came to Florida last time, I went on a plane. I was literally like Gucci, like with my headphones on. This time, I went on a train. And like during that train, it was my first time on a train. I was so scared. I was literally so scared because like whenever I had to like go to like a different car or something, like when like I first went inside a different car, I was so scared because like I didn't know that the doors close by themselves, and I'm literally like panicking like to my mom, telling her like what do I do, how do I close it? And it was just so crazy, bro. And honestly, when I look back at it, I'm so glad that I reacted that way, because now I could look back at it and just laugh at myself, because I'm literally like, what? I should have done train research. I mean, I did, but like not many people ride the train now, so like I kind of understand myself for reacting that way, because it was my first time and I didn't know much about it. Not to mention, when we got out of the train, there were so many complications. Like, I remember the last time there were no complications. We just got there. There was a house ready for us. There was really like everything ready. Everything was set. It was like God himself placed everything there to be perfect. And then this time, nothing was perfect. We came here and we were initially going to stay at like a rental, like, I don't know what it's called. It's like one of those houses that you rent for like a week or something, and then that's it. But like when we got to that house, it was such a bad vibe. And not to mention the air, it smelled like pure cigarettes. And me and my family, we've never smoked. I can guarantee it, we've never smoked. I can't say that about my dad anymore, but we never smoked, and we just like we stay away from those grounds. And when we got there, it just smelled like pure cigarettes. And then like my sister, she was getting a headache. My stepdad, he has asthma, really bad asthma, so like he was like getting really bad asthma. And so we had to leave the place, and we couldn't get a refund because the owner, he wouldn't let us in until 3 o'clock, and after 3 o'clock, we can't get any refunds. So that was another struggle. So we had to find a different place to stay at. We decided to stay at a hotel, and this hotel, it was like there were, in this hotel, we stayed there last time, and it was like a perfect. We stayed in that hotel last time, like before we moved to Florida, like for the first time, we went to that hotel and it was perfect. But like this time, when we went to the hotel, we saw how dirty it was, and like the room that they gave us, it had roaches, and literally we had to like change to another room. We told the service people, they gave us a better room. And honestly, for the room before they changed it, I think they weren't changing the sheets, because like it would just smell like, it wouldn't smell clean. So I think that was one of the things. Like, it didn't smell clean. It just smelled like pool water, and that's not a smell that I like to smell with. It was just all bad, and it was like empty. Something that I realized on the train, like we're going back to the train subject, something that I realized on the train is that when I was sitting down, it was nighttime, and I woke up in the middle of the night because I just wasn't sleeping comfortable. Disregarding the recliner chairs, I just wasn't comfortable. And I remember it was nighttime, and basically I was looking out the window, and at this point we were passing by North Carolina and stuff like that. And I remember that like everything just looked so empty. Like, as we were passing by the train, as we were passing by the states, it was as if the only people alive were the people on the train, and then the whole world was literally just empty. And it was so crazy, because honestly, I knew that there were people alive there, but I just couldn't see them. And it's just life. I don't know how to explain it. This like 2020 was just so crazy. And I love how crazy it is, because when crazy things happen in life, and you look back on it, it's like you just reminiscent on how like adventurous that feeling was, like how adventurous that new feeling was. And me being scared that everything was going to be the same as it was before because the location was the same, like it's just so crazy. Like now I didn't go to school. Now I literally, it was like the littlest things changed. Like last time I went to school, this time I'm in homeschool. It's all so crazy. And the only thing that hasn't changed, was my grades. I could guarantee that the only thing that hasn't changed was my grades. And honestly, I wish that was one of the things that changed, but it wasn't. So sadly for me, but I feel like a lot of people just like, I feel like as they were going there, as they were going through 2020, and as they were like in it, I feel like a lot of people, they were just looking at all the negativity. And I thought that maybe if people like started looking at the positivity of each day that you went through, that each day that you got to spend with that loved one, each day that you got to literally just like breathe another day, breathe to like see, just like have hope that maybe that next day will be a better day. I always love to hope for the best. You can even ask my mom. Each day I tell her tomorrow is gonna be a great day. Tomorrow is gonna be a blissful day, and I love that. I'm a person where I realize so many things during 2020. I realized I like to hide my emotions. I realized that even if the day is mostly bad, I tried and tried to like, it's just so hard to explain, but like I tried my best to just like try to seem like the most happiest person in the world. I tried to do that. I tried to push that off as like a little like perfect, perfect. Like I'm perfect, nothing's wrong. And something that I realized, another thing was that like I remember like and honestly I'm still struggling with this sin. I don't want to name it because honestly I'm still self-conscious about this sin. But I remember that I was mainly focusing on this sin. I was mainly focusing on stop doing this sin. And I thought that if I stopped doing this one sin, that I would be the perfect person. I thought that if I stopped doing this one thing, that there would be no more problems. That I would be like the perfect daughter. I would be like the perfect image. I would just be that perfect person. But then as 2020 went on, I started to realize that I have anger issues. I have a mouth where like I don't think before I say. Like if I think about something and it's true, I'll say it. And I need to learn that even though something is true doesn't mean that I'll just have to say it. I could just say I don't know, but I just decide to say what my thoughts are. And even if my thoughts hurt that person, I didn't feel guilty. I just felt like, well, it's the truth. What can you do about it? But the truth is, I needed to stop doing that. And I just needed to, like, focus on, like, not just focus on that one sin, but realize, like, my focus was as if I was in like, a black tunnel with, like, the light at the end. Like, like, those visions that people have where, like, they're in a black tunnel and there's, like, a light ahead of it? It was like that. It was like I was in that tunnel and I was just focusing on that little white light. And I wasn't looking around that black tunnel to see all the other sins that I've done, all the other sins, all the other lies, all the other, like, struggles that I go through. And I was just focusing on that one thing. And that's something that I need to work on. It's just that, like, I feel like a lot of other people like struggle to this too, which is why I wanted to make this video to just like put that out there. Like a lot of people, I don't want to call anybody out, but like I feel like a lot of people are just mentally blinded by just one thing. And honestly, I feel like I'm like that too. I'm like that too. I feel like everybody's like that. And honestly, as days go by, it's really only our choice to decide which way we're gonna go. We can either change it or we could just continue on our way. And something else that I struggle with is through 2020 was I like to be independent. I love to be independent. Oh my gosh, who doesn't like to be independent now? Am I right? Wow. Whenever I struggle with a sin, I always like to be like, no, I'll do it, because they can ask for help, but like I'm gonna just do it by myself because that's gonna be an easier way, like be like a surprise to them, you know. But I need to learn to ask people for help, and that's something that I struggle with, is just asking people for help and asking them to like, hey, I'm going through something, I need your help. And that's something that I just don't do often. And so I remember like each time I did like finally like spoke my emotions, that I would literally be bawling my eyes out, because literally I suppressed those emotions for so long that when they finally came out, it's just like it's literally a week before it's too late. And I remember like 2020 was just like so crazy. I realized that I'm not good with communications, like nowhere near good as communicating with people, because I'm just not that. I don't have that kind of skill. I'm not good at communicating. I want to be good at communicating, and honestly, I can ask God whenever to help me be good at communicating. Obviously, that's not gonna happen day to night. I know it won't. But another thing that I need to like focus on is just like a lot of things. It's a lot of things, and honestly, I wanted to make this video. There's a lot of reasons I wanted to make this video, but I really do hope that this video really did help other people. And honestly, I hope that it reached out to you guys. I hope like I wasn't the only one. I hope that I wasn't the only one who thought 2020 was a good year, because honestly, I thought it was a really great year. I thought it was like the best year out of all of my years, because like there was just so many things going on, and I love that. I don't like to just be sitting around and just being bored. Like I like things to happen. Like even if it's just on a screen, I like it to happen. Like a lot of things happen, like the Black Lives Matter protests, and just like the LGBTQ like coming out and stuff like that. It's just like a lot of things have happened during this year, and overall it's just crazy. I know a lot of people want things to be normalized. I know a lot of people, they want everything to be normalized, everything to be equal, but the way I think is that nothing is ever going to be equal. I feel like there's always going to be people who want to just feel superior. You might think that you want things to be equal, but in reality, it's just your mind saying, no, I want to be better, you know? Anyway, another thing that happened during 2020 was my birthday. My birthday is July 16th, if you guys didn't know. But another thing that happened was that my cake got ruined. And honestly, I remember so clearly, because this was honestly my favorite birthday. This was like the latest birthday that I spent with my dad. Like, it's my latest birthday overall, but it was my favorite birthday because even though my cake got ruined, it was like just like so perfect, because like even like he like just the thought of him getting me a cake was just like overall like the best thing ever to me. And not to mention that in the morning and like at 12 he's saying like he put on like loud music and literally woke up the whole house. I thought that was so hilarious. In the morning he woke me up again before he went to work and played some music. I love my dad so much, and honestly I miss him like to this day. And Like, we are so far apart. He lives in Connecticut. I live in Florida now. And I wish that I could see him as often as I could before, but I can't. If you guys, by the way, if you guys have made it this far, comment down below cookie, okay? Because I want to know how many people have made it this far to like this point. I wouldn't be surprised if nobody commented that, but who knows? But anyway, I hope you guys really did enjoy my talking. Probably gonna be a part 2. Who knows? And without further ado, I think that's about it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below how your 2020 was. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye.
2, 3. My darling, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.